Hello, beautiful people of the internet. My name is Ryan, and welcome to a brand new game here on the channel. A brand new blind playthrough. Welcome to Slay the Princess. Before we get started with the actual gameplay, I have to just very quickly tell you what you can expect during this playthrough, even though I have no idea what to expect of this game. So first and foremost, this is a blind playthrough, meaning I have avoided every piece of information that I can possibly avoid about Slay the Princess. Why? Because I and a lot of other people on the internet, apparently, get a lot of value out of and have a lot of fun out of playing video games and meeting them on their terms, rather than scouring the internet for reviews and understanding what the gameplay loop is before you even get into the game. I really like to sort of play the game on its terms, learn what I can from it specifically, and enjoy the process. So this is a blind playthrough. I don't know anything about the game, and I would really prefer if you didn't write anything in the comments about the game, because I'm going to try and play the game on its terms, like I said. The second thing you should know is that on this channel, we play games a little bit more slowly, a little bit more thoroughly. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Take a shot if you're one of my regular viewers, which means that I really like to pay attention to the writing in video games. And that is particularly important, I think, for Slay the Princess, because one of the only things that I do know about this game is that people have been wandering in since it was first published or released like a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years ago. People have been wandering into my Discord, onto my Twitter, into our live streams and doing that thing where they're like, hey, Ryan, have you played Slay the Princess? Have you heard about it? I don't want to tell you too much, but I think it might be up your alley. And a couple of those comments have mentioned the writing, or writing in particular, as being of interest in Slay the Princess. So, without further ado, without me yapping too much, let's play Slay the Princess. Content warning. It's a horror game. You can read the content warnings on their website, and there are some visual effects that may give people problems. I'm going to keep those on for me, but you should check out content warnings if you need to. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them true. Is this a horror game? A horror game? Sorry. There are no premature endings. There are no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. What a wild thing. I have thoughts already. Why tell us it's a love story? I get telling us that it's a horror game. Have heart and see them through. They ask the player, be courageous, see this game through. This seems more about, I have thoughts on this too. Fresh perspectives, new beginnings. To me, these two in particular suggest this may be a game that we are like sort of restarting. Fresh perspectives, new beginnings. Premature endings, don't worry, it's not actually premature, they tell us. Anyways. Slay the Princess. Okay, we have a title screen. I did purchase the DLC, Pristine Cut, I think is what that's called. It is what that means. So maybe that means more content. I don't know, because like I've said before, this is a blind playthrough. I am so excited to see what we have here. Slay the Princess, a sword through a heart. Some lovely melodramatic music with a little plinking piano layered over the top. And a person in chains, chained to a wall in a sort of prison cell situation. Let's do it. New game? Let's find out. Chapter 1, speaking of writing. The hero and the princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Okay, we have a character described as the narrator. Oh, look at this beautiful visual effect of the layers of the... These sketched... Oh my god. I think I'm gonna like this game. We'll see, we'll see. But there's a lot of beautiful visual and... just a lot of cool elements happening already. Let's talk about them, because like I said, I'm going to be thorough and I'm going to yap way too much. We have like a hand-drawn scenery, layered, and those layers move in front of each other as you move. So it's doing this weird line between, like, it's obviously hand-drawn, and yet it's doing this, like, immersive thing. That said, it's also just Chapter 1, the narrator. You are on a path in the woods, so second person. The end of that path is a cabin. Second person POV. In the basement of that cabin is a princess. We're just being told a story. My immediate thoughts are this. If we're being told a story, am I going to get to make choices? Because this is a video game, not just a novel, right?
You're here to slay her.
Oh, shit.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I like this narrator's voice a lot. Okay. This line is very interesting to me. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Should I talk too much? I should probably talk about my thoughts immediately. Second person point of view, aka the story is being told in a you do this, you do that. Very often, it's a point of view in writing used to sort of close the distance between the reader and the main character, the protagonist. It's meant to put you directly in their shoes. One of the things that's really interesting about that is that in comparison to, let's say, third person omniscient, the perspective that says, like, Jane does X, Jerry does Y, and then tells you more about the world. In third person point of view, you get, especially omniscient, you get a narrative voice, a narrating voice that can tell you things with lots of authority. Like, if this person is not killed, it would be the end of the world. And we're more likely to believe that. Because the narrator in those types of books is like sort of a godlike figure. They have lots of information. This is not third person, and yet the narrator says, if you don't slay her, it will be the end of the world. My immediate reaction. Can I trust it? It's a narrator. I'm meant to trust it. My instinct is to trust it. But who says that? I'm probably overthinking things. Oh, choices! Okay, holy cow. Oh my... We have options. A lot of options. Explore. The end of the world? What are you talking about? Explore. So some of these are labeled as explore. Some of them are not labeled, which is interesting. And then some of them are actions. Okay, interesting. The end of the world, what are you talking about? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? Interesting. Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it? I don't know, does it? I mean, killing a person seems kind of bad. What makes a princess above the law? Above the moral law? Can't someone else do this? Interesting. Absolve ourselves of responsibility. Forget it, I'm not doing this. Deny it. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? I'm not buying into your ploy. Do I get some sort of reward for doing this? Okay, interesting. Thanks for telling me what to do. I've always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la revolucion! Okay, let's take option 1. The end of the world, what are you talking about? More information is always good.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
I love this voice. Okay, my immediate reaction. How do you know these things, narrator? Because the narrator is not pretending towards objectivity here. Perhaps most problematically of all, tells us that the narrator sort of has an opinion. You have to put an end to her. And the narrator is also very adamant. More options. How can a princess locked away? Ooh. These are not the same options. I wondered if we would sort of exhaust dialogue options as we went. What do these buttons do? I'm just gonna hover. Auto, skip, save, settings, and then like a journal. I'm curious about what those buttons do. How can a princess locked away in a basement end the world? If you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not going to kill her. Do you have any evidence to back this up? See, I love that option because what it actually would do is tell us more about the narrator. This is actually a question. We're looking for evidence. But to me, what it would do is actually tell us, what does the narrator consider evidence? And are they willing to sort of give us a back and forth about, oh yes, I should convince you. I should persuade you. Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going in the world is because she's locked up? We did do that. Okay, so we do actually have the same options at the bottom. Okay, perfect. I'll go to the cabin and talk to her. And if she's as bad as you say she is, then maybe I'll slay her. I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face. A very empathetic POV. Same options. I'm gonna pick this. I need more information. Any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Oh, that leaves a bad feeling in my stomach. I think the reason why is that it is kind of shirking my question for evidence and also employing... God, this is... Welcome to rhetoric class, by the way. Welcome to English literature class. I'm not qualified to be a professor, but here we are. I'm going to do my best to talk about what I think is very interesting from a writing perspective here, and I already understand why people said, hey, Ryan, I think you might be particularly interested in this. I am. Whatever my equivalent of spidey senses are, they are tingling. So, shirks the question about evidence and also sort of guilt trips us into it? Are we being gaslit, guilt tripped, and girl bossed? Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? I can think of a lot of reasons, but you're trying to sort of push me down that line of thinking. More questions. What's new here? What's a new option? It looks like no new options. Let's pick, how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
I mean, we're all feeling it. We're all feeling that sense of impending doom. I don't want to be a cog in your machine, narrator. We're all counting on you. Who's we? I don't want to be a cog in your machine. I don't want to be the blade that you wield to accomplish your end. Okay, so I think picking that option actually... On the last screen, we should talk about this. Oh, this is all one big dialogue. I love this. This is so up my alley, and I'm so thankful for everybody who mentioned this to me, this game. So in the last set of choices, we had the option that we took, and there was another option which said, I'm not going to kill her unless you give me some specifics, a sort of more hard-nosed approach to the narrator. Both of those, we chose one, and the other option also disappeared, meaning that was probably a fork, and like in some dialogue, and either that fork led to two separate future options, or my guess is that they kind of ended up in the same place because we have the same options here. I think it says, okay, I'm sold, let's get this over with. But we'd have to go back and check to be sure. But then again, the intro screen said something about premature endings and new beginnings, and so maybe we'll get the chance to check. I can't wait. I love this. I say this every time I play a new, interesting game on this channel. But I am so in love with the first 30 pages of a novel when you're figuring out, what is this book's method going to be? I love the first hour of a game where you're like, what kind of game is this? Are you going to give me options? Are you going to railroad me? Are you going to narrow my options or give me plenty? And I've been yapping so much. I'm so sorry. I think we take as much exploration as possible. Have you considered maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? I don't love this dialogue option for a couple reasons, but we'll pick it.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Okay. Is that a literal ticking clock, or a warning to the player, or just a bit of world building?
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
Oh boy. Well, that gets into a whole big debate, doesn't it? And okay.
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
Okay. What's your lens?
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
Okay. I hear you, and here's why I don't buy it. Or here's my potential. It's possible that you're correct, narrator, but here's the problem. I don't have the same authority and certainty of knowledge that you do. You believe causality doesn't matter here. You believe the end result is the same no matter what. Maybe you're an omniscient god like you would be in a third-person omniscient novel, but we're not in that. We're in a second-person, and I would say manipulative narrator type of narrative. And in that world, I can't take anything you say. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I should trust you, but I don't think I can certainly... I don't think I can for certain take anything you say as law. Maybe you're right, but don't I still deserve to know how you know?
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
I do have to say, I am a fan of this game's writing already. Like the narrator's writing, I'm a big fan of. I think it's well done. I think this is pithy and well stated. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
I love that we're getting so many dialogue options, because I'm the kind of person who plays a game. I play Skyrim, and as long as they keep feeding me dialogue options, I'm going to keep taking dialogue options. You know what I mean? I always want as much information as I possibly can. The place that sometimes gets me into an issue is when picking too many dialogue options actually closes down your options. Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
It's just like, it's straw men it's not turtles all the way down, it's straw men all the way down. I love it because it's going to... The problem with arguing with someone so rhetorically, like, who has such rhetorical finesse, is that you end up confused and backed into a corner you didn't want to be in, and it's beautiful. Can someone else do this?
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules.
What a game so far, by the way. We're 15 minutes into the gameplay. Of course, I've talked way too much. And I'm just going to say right now, if you are watching this video and you're like, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep watching this series, the guy talks a lot. Don't worry, it's not going to get any better. I'm going to keep talking this much, so maybe it's best if we part ways now. I'm sure somebody else has played this game in a way that you might find more enjoyable. If you are on board with me talking a lot, thanks for being here. What I wanted to say is this. What a game. games are amazing in that they're so vastly diverse in like what they consist of. What is the gameplay itself? What do you spend your time doing? We're 15 minutes in and I've stared at these trees, but I've walked the whole mental world. I have a shadowy narrator in front of me, and every new dialogue option to me clarifies that shadow. It puts hard edges around the shadow just a little bit. This is a very, like I said, rhetorically gifted, demanding, and not very giving in terms of their information. They're not an open book at all. And that's the whole game so far. Maybe it'll be very different very soon. I'm guessing we'll progress to a different screen, but it's just lovely that video games can be this. I'm just staring at white text with a black outline, and I'm having a great time. You don't make the rules. Who does?
I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off.
Oh, it's giving me... okay. Two people trapped together vibes.
Like
Portal?
I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
Portal, Stanley Parable. I feel like the thing this is most like so far, and not exactly at all like it at all, is Stanley Parable, but you don't make the rules. You've said that twice, but I don't know what that means. And I have to take your word for it. Have you considered maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Let's ask that option. I want to see what this narrator's specific take could be on the sort of like, if they've been adamant so far, how adamant can they get?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
I lose faith in your... You say these things so certainly, and yet I don't know that that's true.
I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
I don't think of myself as one of either of those things. Do I get a reward for doing this? I couldn't personally be less interested in the answer to this question. But let's ask it.
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Isn't that convenient? Can you tell me what my prize is going to be for doing a good job?
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
Listen, I might be a paranoid motherfucker, but I think that this is probably the average player's response to this bit of dialogue is actually to feel less sure that there is a reward than they were before they got the assurance that there would be a very special reward, which again is a beautiful piece of writing. It's beautiful that you can have the narrator assure you the prize will be better than your wildest imagination, and I can leave that interaction thinking there might not be a fucking reward. And again, it's so Stanley Parable. It's so Stanley Parable, which is a game that I love. So this is exciting. Okay, I want to pick... Forget this, I'm not doing it. Forget it, I'm not doing this.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
When you say have, how much control do you have? Do you have any control, narrator? Or are you a disembodied voice trying to encourage me? So far, they do not seem to be able to make me do anything. So do I really have to do it? I'm going to go to the cabin. I'll talk to her. If she's as bad as you say, maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
Geez, I wonder what that sort of thing could feel like. Listen, again, maybe I'm more paranoid than your average player. But this narrator's way of dodging and assuring and demanding Those aren't qualities of a narrator that I would trust.
Then each and every one of us is doomed.
It's possible they're backed up against a wall and say, hey, this is really important. You
So
need
sure, go talk
make
to
it
her.
happen.
See how that turns out for all of us.
Sarcasm.
You make your way
Oh.
up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Okay.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Sorry, that was the same voice, but that was the same voice actor, but the title has changed. Voice of the hero. And they've said something very, very interesting, which directly addresses the title of the game, which is something I was automatically interested in. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. We'll get into that more, I'm sure, because it seems like the whole game is sort of about this line.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, so the narrator can hear the voice of the hero. And the only option we have is to proceed.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
I have a guess what we're going to find through this door, which is maybe, although it was more, I was going to say maybe the title screen, but it was a stone floor and it was made of stone, so maybe not.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want
Your
to do this
tool.
right.
Implement is a great word. We've got to take the blade. We don't have... We've got to take the blade if we plan on killing the princess. But that gives us the option to not take the blade. I'm going to take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter the basement. The music stopped. The music changed? The music changes when you take the blade. See, this is my... Okay, so... I was sort of surprised to see them give you the option to enter the basement without the blade. Them being the writers of this game. The people designing these dialogue choices. I was sort of surprised by it, because I just sort of imagined, yeah, if you're going to go in there to talk to her, you should take the blade in case you end up killing her. But they specifically gave you an option not to. And then the music specifically changed once you'd wielded it. Which makes for a really interesting sort of question that I don't know the answer to yet. We'll have to play the game to find out. About, for lack of a less archaic word, it begs a question about like determinism, frankly. If I have the option not to take the blade, and then once I do take the blade, the music changes, doesn't that sort of suggest, and the music that happened was very dark, right? Does that suggest that me taking the blade means I've sort of sealed my fate? That by taking the blade, I will use it? I'll be interested to see what options come up once we enter the basement. But in another version of this game, there would be no music change until you had decided to slay the princess? But this time the music changes before that. God, this game is going to be...
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an
Stone.
unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Now that's out of pocket. The air feels heavy and damp. It's an oppressive place. There's rot in the wood. If the princess lives here, slaying her is doing her a favor. Probably doing her a favor. So it is going to be the title screen. That's my prediction.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
She speaks. Will we get a new voice?
Who's there?
Oh. Okay.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
That's the voice of the hero. God, I'm going to have to really pay attention to who's speaking, because at first I thought that was the narrator saying that. Forgive me. I just have to keep talking about this. So this is interesting, right? A narrator using the you voice, second person point of view, is attempting to tell us how we feel or what we should do. That's a very common thing in second person point of view. But then a second voice is added, which a second authority, voice of authority, which is the voice of the hero. If the narrator tells me it's almost as if she's the one in charge down here, I think, sure, but the narrator's been frankly unreliable so far, or has a motive. But if the voice of the hero tells me that, am I to assume that I am the hero and that this is my internal voice? I'm very used to being the hero. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them, right? I'm very used to being the hero in those stories. But something about the fact that I've already been told to think something by the narrator, and now there's another voice telling me to think something. Do I trust this one more? Do I need to trust it?
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, that's fucking getting meta. That's getting so meta. Which I love. And which makes me feel more uncertain than ever. Don't let it fool you. There is the narrator is saying what I just said. This is genius. That's a second voice. You can't trust it just as much as... It's all a part of the manipulation. The narrator admits to manipulating and says the other voice is manipulation too. Oh boy. I'm just gonna introduce myself. Hello. Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Inviting, welcoming.
You walk
The scene.
downstairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Okay.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
That's the hero. The hero says she's coldly beautiful. And questions if she's a threat.
Focus on the task at hand.
Oh, now I'm starting to get worried that these are just different voices inside of my own. I mean, they are voices inside of my head. They're voices coming through my headphones, directly into my ears, directly into my head. But I'm worried that maybe we're a character with sort of angel and devil on shoulder. Focus on the task at hand. She's coldly beautiful. Doubt one way, doubt the other.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
We should take a second to look at the art here. It's now that the princess has sort of shown her face, which she did not do on the intro screen. She does appear it looks like a crown. She appears like sort of curious or like distrustful, maybe. One of those two is how I would phrase it. She's dressed like a princess, which is probably not particularly comfortable in this dungeon. And this chain is huge. Okay. She's moved her head a little bit. Like she's listening. What? No way. Why would you even think that? Yeah, you caught me. I'm here to slay you. Nuh-uh. I haven't decided yet. I'm here to talk. I haven't decided yet. If she knows, then there's something to find out there, which is, how does she know? I haven't decided yet. Actually, let's ask the first option. It comes across as nervous, but maybe it gets at the exact thing I just wondered, which is, how do you know? Why would you think that?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it
Oh.
away, doesn't it?
So remember that whole thing about, like, determinism? I walked into the room with a knife. The person I'm interviewing is not oblivious to the fact that I'm holding a giant knife. That makes me wonder, if I hadn't walked into the goddamn room with the knife, had I not sealed my fate by affecting what the princess thinks of me?
The blade.
Smart.
Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing
monster?
someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Oh boy, I think I ought to drop it. I think I ought to drop it. What's interesting here is that the hero says maybe she really is a monster, which I could be very incorrect. But I wonder if... But I don't think the narrator said she's a monster. I think the narrator said she has to die. But is this the voice of the hero supplying a reason for why we have to do what we do, or crafting a reason, or believing something, knowing something that I don't know? Let's drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Talk. Okay, the princess's voice actor is I feel, so then we should talk about the voice acting at some specific point, but my immediate reaction to the princess voice actor is the, like, honeyed words of a witch almost, like more than meets the eye type of.
Against your better judgment.
Oh my god, speaking
you
of
step
eyes.
forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
Her eyes are enormous. And like shrouded in darkness. And no, I'm not just talking like mascara.
We'll be fine.
Will we?
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
I want dialogue options.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
An awkward start to a relationship. I like the princess's voice a lot. Oh my god, we got so many options. Yeah, it's pretty awkward. A relationship, are you coming on to me? How would I get you out of here? I'm here because you're supposed to end the world. There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that? What's your name? How long have you been down here? Do you know why I'm here to kill you? Let's start with what's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
Why?
You can address me as your
Oh.
Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Any honorific should do.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
And kettle calling the fucking pot black, narrator. That's all I have to say about that one. Oh, I'm so interested in how we should navigate this. How long have you been down here? None of the options say Your Majesty or Your Highness, by the way. How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Okay. Very vague.
Again, she offers no specifics.
I know, narrator.
No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
And that would be really convenient for you, the narrator, if I believed that sentence you just told me. I am awash in a sea of murky water I cannot see through. Floundering, there are no islands nearby. There's no land in sight. I have no idea who I can trust right now. Narrator, princess, voice of the hero? What is real and not? And why is everyone trying so hard to convince me? It's really interesting because everybody is trying so hard to convince me, which makes and the stakes feel very high immediately. Is this game genius? I think this game might be genius. The stakes are immediately high. You must slay a princess. The problem is none of the information you have is good. None of the people you're talking to seem like they can be trusted, and it's your job to, I don't know, wade through? This is that thing I was talking about. I wonder what our job is in this game. Is our job to wade through the dialogue options? Is our job to wade through these murky perspectives like narrator, princess, voice of hero, and determine who can be trusted? What's our job? Is our job just to slay the princess? It's in the title of the game? You know, there's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Why not?
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
I think.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
I love the slightly bored checking the nails art here. It's very aware I'm being perceived.
Just how long has she been down here?
That's the hero. Yeah, that's my question too.
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
No, they haven't, and that's half of my problem. They haven't told me anything. Why are your eyes so big, though? Oh, that's a little bit freaky to me. Oh, now you're interviewing me and I have to give you answers? No, I don't want to give answers. I'm not getting any answers. I shouldn't have to give any. I can deflect, which is an interesting that it's labeled deflect, which I find interesting. Roll a deception check. Nat 20. I've been told enough. I was hoping you'd tell me. I'm sure they have the reasons. Do they? Do they have the reasons? I'd love to hear them. But here's the other thing. What a bold choice to make the voice of the narrator, the narrator and the voice of the hero, the same voice actor. Everything in this game so far contributes to my murkiness. The fact that the screen itself is hand-drawn and sort of swims before me. The fact that no one gives me any information. That the princess's art specifically is this, like, Disney princess-esque elements. And the story itself is very, like, Disney-esque. But then has these sort of... Look at this small, creepy smile and these big, big eyes. And this big chain. Everything in this game is contributing to the effect that I'm having, the experience I'm having right now, which is this feeling of murkiness and feeling adrift. And it's really, I'm finding it really compelling. I'm going to try deflecting. What are you going to do if I let you out of here?
Princess hesitates before responding.
Okay.
She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
How much of modern life is what just happened in those two dialogue lines? It's pre-supplying narratives. It's our human and very capable brains pre-supplying narratives for what we see around us. The person in line at the grocery store who cuts in front of me. So much of my life is spent being like, that asshole doesn't have common decency. Or that person surely has something surely is in quite a hurry and has something very important they're just about to miss unless they get out of here in the next 2 seconds.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful.
Interesting. What's that mean? What's that mean?
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Oh my god. It's like a prisoner's dilemma type situation, except...
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either.
You're right.
Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
Killing each other? Killing each other? We'd be killing each other?
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
Why did she say killing each other? I'm so curious what this button does, but we're not going to click it right now because I'm so afraid that if I click anything, I'm just going to fuck up. We'll click this button eventually. My guess is it's probably a history of dialogue. It is. Let's go. That's perfect. I love it when a game does this because I'm the kind of person who could always look back and see what I did that I didn't understand. What I heard that I didn't understand. Or that has been complicated by new information. We'd be killing each other instead of talking. Why do you say it that way? You're manacled. I don't think it sounds right to you either. Do you have the capacity to kill me here?
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear.
Not, I'm sure you want to hear, but I'm sure you think you want to hear. Oh, this game's gonna give me a headache in the best possible way.
But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
I love it when you do this in dialogue. This happens very often. It happens sometimes in stories, frankly, sort of like this, which is like, well, I do agree with her about one thing. We've come to the same conclusion for very different reasons. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust.
It can't be.
Blind trust.
This is a meta moment. It can't be about blind trust. Because I'm playing a video game. And every video game I have played for the last 20 years has been sort of subconsciously or implicitly teaching me about one thing, which is that there's more info there if you dig deeper, or there is a method to the madness. It can't be a 50-50 coin flip, but I don't know how to find.
Do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
I really don't trust the narrator. I don't know who put you here.
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk.
Risk?
We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Subjugating. That's a new piece of information to us. Does she subjugate? Tell me more. Are you coming on to me? The relationship part could be interesting. Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
You can have a relationship with people you've never met. I do it all the time. Friends online. How would I get you out of here? I know what you mean, though.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
This is the doe eyes type. Well, we can always put the... Why are her eyes so creepy, though?
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting.
Chop her arm
Right.
off? Or tried to, like, I imagine we were, like, trying to jiggle the lock with the knife, not, like, chop her arm off. Not, like, 58 hours or 62 hours or whatever situation, right?
She is. I'm sure of it.
Chop her arm off? Okay, we've talked enough. Why am I so nervous?
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm under a spotlight, central stage, in the third act of a play, and I don't know my line. Slay the princess. Examine the chains, or keep her locked away. I do not know what to do here. Let's examine the chain. Oh, I lean towards 2 and 3. Examine the chains. Partially because examining is always just, it's code word for get more information, and I'm a sucker for the option to get more information. But the dialogue itself says, get you out of here. This one is like, I can learn more about you, and then we can decide, which is, again, get more information. Why am I like this? Why am I always like this? I need more information. Let's pick the middle option. And by middle, I mean the last one. Neither slay nor release, but keep her locked away.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
Compromise.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
She's been here for how long? How will she
One way
find-
or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help.
Has my compromise been denied by both sides?
And if you don't,
Why is your writing different?
I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
Why are you threatening me?
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
So I'm getting these vibes that the princess is actually dangerous. She said we'd be killing each other. You're chained up. You wouldn't be killing anybody unless you have that capacity. She says I'll regret it. She says she will find her way out eventually. I made my choice. I'm locking her in the basement. I feel like the game has just sort of warned me away from this choice. She'll find her way out, and the narrator insists you must make a choice. I have no idea what to do. What's really interesting about this about this moment is that I sort of feel, like I said, the problem is I've been given no information at every end. At every end, I've been given zero information. Why? Not why from a perspective of the narrator or perspective of the princess. I can craft reasons for why they might not want to give me information. But why have I, Ryan, the player, not been given information? Why am I being asked to make a choice without the specifics of the situation? To me, the only answer that sort of makes sense is that I'm almost being asked, this is a crazy thought, but I don't know how to phrase it. I feel like I'm almost being asked to make decisions based on the Disney princess of it all, based on the out-of-world narratives I'm used to, rather than the in-world specifics. Does that make sense? I think I'm almost being asked to consider this person Snow White, consider this person Cinderella, or consider the narrator Stanley Parable, or but here's the question. In that situation, the game is entitled Slay the Princess. Am I being asked to confront those stories I've been told? or go along with them? Because my instinct would be to go along with them, but the title suggests go against. I don't think I have a way to know. And so I guess I'll just listen to my gut. What does my gut say? Let's get you out of here. Let's get you out of here. I hope I'm misreading your eyes and your weird smile and how big that chain is.
Oh, for the love of...
Good. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Okay.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing.
Both of those thoughts have been in my mind in the last 5 minutes.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
I'm probably going to have to use the knife, right?
They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful.
Do I...
Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
If there isn't a key, do you have any ideas besides me cutting you out of here?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
Why are you so okay with that? I mean, I guess.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance.
Nonchalance.
If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free.
So the voice of the hero and the narrator and the princess are all interpreting the world for us. And the problem with that is that I'm already interpreting the world a lot. And so instead of... Basically, I'm just having my interpretations, the things I think and then discard, confirmed and then doubted by the narrators of this game.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut.
Oh,
You
no.
hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Fuck.
Is someone else here?
Hey, let me out of here.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
Where's the knife?
You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Now, that's interesting. Try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
The narrator says I won't leave.
I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
So my interpretation of that line, which has now been said twice, is this. To me, that's the narrator saying, I am more omniscient than you have doubted me to be, you know? I am more omniscient than I'm letting off. I closed that door. I locked it, and no one will hear you cry. You are meant to slay the princess, and you will not leave. I see that as the narrator taking credit for the door. I don't know if it's true, but it's bottom of the stairs.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to.
I'm sure, but it also would have been less fun.
Easier for whom?
Oh.
Easier for everyone.
The narrator sounds so dark now.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Do you have any information you can tell me at all?
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess or slay the princess. I was on board with save the princess. And now I'm nervous about the narrator's sense of authority here. In a way, it's almost like this is going to sound crazy. The only piece of information I sort of do have is the narrator sort of claiming that maybe they're the reason that door is shut and locked and I won't be escaping until I slay the princess. Somebody has exerted their power on my situation. I don't know if it's the narrator, but someone has. And that's sort of the only solid ground I have to go on right now. which means that despite the fact that I was leaning save the princess, now I'm leaning slay. And I'm letting fear drive my heart. Because the princess seems a little weird. But the narrator seems very threatening. Let's slay the princess.
Without hesitation, you
Ooh.
bring the blade down. The
That
princess
sound.
flinches as you strike, and your weapon sinks into her shoulder.
Oh boy. Oh, my cursor is now a hand holding a bloodied knife.
You bastard. If I have to kill you to leave this place, I'll do it.
Okay, so the princess is definitely powerful in some way.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's unarmed, and there's nothing she can do to hurt you.
But why is the manacle so big?
I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you
Motherfucker.
raise your blade to strike again, she kicks out, knocking your legs out from under you. The two of you struggle on the ground. You lash out with the blade, slicing wherever you can. Her fists connect with your body again and again, each blow stronger than the last, shattering bone and rupturing tissue with reckless abandon.
Oh my god.
Forget trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
Okay. Slay the princess? I have to try. That's the only option I have.
You roll out of her grasp and shakily push yourself back to your feet.
Why are my nails like this, by the way? I noticed this on the cursor earlier. Why are my nails so sharp? What's on my arm? Am I human? Am I a monster? What am I? Am I something in between? What am I? And what is the princess?
Though every inch of you is in pain, the princess probably has it worse. Blood pours out from countless gashes, staining her once pristine dress.
This is so beautiful.
She pauses for a moment, catching her breath, staring at you with wild eyes.
This is so beautiful.
We can still turn this around.
Run for the stairs and lock her in the basement? I'm fucking locked in here. What do you mean? I think we have to commit here. Give up, finish the job. We gotta finish the job.
You steel your resolve and take another step towards the princess. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure she won't make it out of here either.
Damn.
Excuse me? What was that about not making it out of here alive? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now.
I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, is what the narrator says. Who are you?
Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
Ah, the slight shift. This is a genius moment. The narrator is now speaking to the voice of the hero, which, as I said, does not feel exactly like it is me. If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The entire time up to this point, the narrator has said, you, speaking directly to me. Now, the narrator speaks to the voice of the hero and says, our friend, meaning me. God, I love point of view stuff.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh,
Do I win? Did I win the game? I stabbed you in the heart?
The two of you fall to the floor.
Am I also dead?
this was fun. You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have the time to worry over her words.
Can I leave?
Everything goes dark, and you die.
The fuck? What the fuck? This isn't the end? To me, that was amazing, by the way. I have to just take a breath here to say what an experience that was. I felt like I was living inside of, in the way that only video games can, I thought I was living inside of a thrilling podcast and comic book at the same moment, and yet I was still making choices. Everything goes dark, and you die. I have chills from that. This has to be that we're going to restart. Chapter 2, The Adversary. I thought it was we restart.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Amazing. We are at the start, and yet we are at chapter 2. We're in the same visual place, but I'm pretty sure the music is different. I'm really bad at recognizing music, so it may be the exact same. I'm not sure, but that's my theory. And we're at the perfect place to call it an episode. How are we going to make it? Until the next video comes out. Oh boy. I get to keep playing, but unfortunately you have to wait to see what happens. And I'm really sorry about that, but that's just the nature of scheduling YouTube videos and recording stuff ahead of time. I really hope you've enjoyed episode 1 of Slay the Princess. I certainly have. I can't stop wondering about all of it. And I cannot wait to figure out what's going to happen next. And a deep, sincere, heartfelt thank you to all of the people who said, hey, Ryan, I think you might like Slay the Princess, because so far, so good. This feels momentous. This feels genius. This feels... It also just makes me feel. I got chills at the you die. We're going to see where this story heads next, and how you can possibly have a chapter 2 from the exact same position as chapter 1. It's so meta. In the next video. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Hey, please, if you've watched this far, please do me a favor and like the video. It helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. You can leave a comment down below as well. Those help me get these videos in front of more people. And as a, relatively small YouTuber, that really matters for people like me. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending this hour with me. I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.